Good morning, חברים. בוקר טוב, ליקוטי מורן, זין, טיניונה, אות, יוד. I'm sorry, אות, חט. Second column. וזה פירוש. הבו מתונים בדין. So after the little star over there, says Rabbeinu, זה פירוש הבו מתונים בדין. והעמידו תלמידים הרבה. The first Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says that this הם עשו אנשי כנסת, והם אמרו שלושה דברים. The אנשי כנסת, the Gula said three things. The Sanhedrin, הבו מתונים בדין, ועמידו תלמידים הרבה, ועשו סייג לתורה. That's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avot. Moshe קיבל, look how amazing it is. Moshe קיבל תורה מסיני. ומסרת ישועה, ישועה לזקנים, זקנים לנביאים. The tradition of Torah, משה את ישוע, the זקנים לנביאים, הם מסרו לאנשי כנסת הגדולה, the Sanhedrin, 2,500 years ago. The Sanhedrin, and they, Sanhedrin, אנשי כנסת הגדולה, said three things. הבו מתונים בדין, simple pshat is be slow to judge. A psak comes, you're Dayan, you're going to take money from this guy, you're going to give to this guy. Oh, pavole, slowly, don't go quickly. Second is, v'amidu tamidim arbe, teach a lot of Torah. Let everybody in the Bet Midrash. Make a lot of students. The more young students we have, the more Talmidei Chachamim we're going to have later, the better for the community. And then it says, v'asu sayag na Torah. Asu sayag na Torah is a fence. So the fence usually means, you got to put fences to make sure people don't fall in a pit hole. If you have a pit hole in the street, so you got to put some cones around it to make sure people don't fall in. If you have an electric wire and you don't want somebody to touch it, so if you have a fence around it, so somebody won't come to electrocute himself. So that's the three things they said. Three good advice. When you come to judge halacha, go slow. Make sure you have a lot of talmidim and put a fence around the Torah to make sure that there's what's called achakot, mishmeret. You know, don't touch the tree on Shabbos, mukses, you won't pull off the fruit. All these things which are dirabanan. That's the simple pshat. But Rabbeinu says his pshat. Again, he's dressing up his hasaga in the pshat. Hevu metunin badin, v'amidu talmid b'rab v'asu sayeg l'Torah. Hevu metunin badin. Ze b'chinat shetzarich chacham. Liot no metinut. That the Talmid Chacham has to have the certain metinut, slow. Lida ech ledaber im kol echad ve'echad. You got to really take time to evaluate the person that's in front of you, what you need to tell to him. The people that are on a high level, you got to show them that they haven't started yet. The darimana, the ones that are above, you got to show them they don't know anything. Bichinat machamita, v'lifnei darimata, the ones that are low, the ones that are in the mud, the ones that are down on their luck. Yegaleh asaga shel melok haaretz kevodo. What you do is you teach them the asaga that Hashem is with them. Hashem is everywhere. Even if you're in the ginam, in the shol tachtit, Hashem is right there with you. V'zeh bichinat din. This is why is this called hevu metunim badin? Slowly to make this din. Why is that a din? B'chinat mishpat. Din is the same as a mishpat. A judgment is the same as a mishpat. Din and mishpat are interchangeable. B'chinat ki Elokim shofet ze yashpin v'ze yarim. David HaMelech said, Hashem judges. Ze yashpin, the guy is on top, we're going to put him down. V'ze yarim, and the guy is low, we're going to bring him up. A rich guy, we can put him down to be penniless. And a poor person, he can become overnight wealthy. Ze yashpid v'ze yarim, that's on called mishpat. So shagvuim hu tzarich lashpid. Narod them shenam yodim klal biyadiyato yitbarach. The ones who are high, that they were really advanced in Torah, to show them they don't know anything yet, to get them moving. V'aktanim b'chinat shochne afar. Tzarich larim, the low ones, we need to pick them up. The ones who are about to give up, we have to give them hope to make sure that they do not give up. Nakitzam, to awaken them. that should not give up on themselves. Ki imro kon haaretz kevodo. So this is what the first pshat of the Mishnah is. Hevu mitunin badin. Slowly, and then know what to give each one. Matun, 1 second. It was the famous Shavuot of Rabbi Natan. It was called the Groise Shavuos. It was about 60, it was a big amount of people that came to Rabbi Natan. And Rabbi Natan was nervous before the Chag. And his Talmud, if I remember, was Rav Nachman Tulchin. Rav Nachman Tulchiner. He asked him, Rebbe, what's wrong? He said, listen, I have a big crowd here, and I'm not sure what to give them. If they need itorerut and I give them itchaskut, I'm going to ruin them. And if they need itchaskut and I give them itorerut, I'm going to ruin them. Itorerut is wake up. What's going to be with you? When are you going to take yourself in hand? Like we saw in Moharan this morning. Rabbeinu was talking to Rabbi Natan, to Rabbi Yehuda, to the Talmidim Gedolim. He said, I thought you were going to be big tzaddikim. You're good Jews, but when are you going to start? What do you mean? We're not doing avirot? Yeah, but like I told you, the Chavetz Chaim could count minutes of Bitul Torah in a year. So if you're already in hours of Bitul Torah, I know what it is, an hour of Bitul. Imagine you did a few hours of Bitul Torah. It's nothing. What's a few? It's nothing compared to most people who are tell the whole year. But the Chavetz Chaim could cry over a few minutes of Bitul Torah. So if you're still in hours, I want you to get in minutes. That's called itorerut, wake up. If they need itorerut and I start giving a pat on the back, you guys are doing great, you guys are tzaddikim, itchaskut. If they need to be awakened and I give them itchaskut, strengthening them, I ruin them. If a guy's, you could push him a little bit further. The guy's running what's the Olympics? They run the marathon, how many seconds? A mile, what is it? I don't know what they have. They go around the lap in a certain amount of seconds, a 1 minute mile, or whatever, you know what it is. If I could push the guy to 59 seconds, and I'm going to tell him, you're doing great, you're the top, you're going to get him to 1 minute and 30 seconds. You're going to make him go down if you tell him how good he is, if you compliment him. If you're starting to pick him up and telling him that Hashem is with him, you're ruining him. That's what Rabbi Natan said. I can ruin them. If they need to be pushed and I give them a pat on the back, I'm ruining them. And if they need a pat on the back and I start to push them, I ruin them as well. A guy that's just holding on and he's shaky, you got to just keep him on his feet and you got to give him all the reasons not to give up. If you tell him, hey, what's going to be with you? You're still, you mevatel a few minutes of Torah. Some people, if they read the book of the Chazon Ish or the book of the Chavetz Chaim that he did Bitul Torah in a few minutes, so he's going to close the book and say, it's not for me, this Torah. If you go too high on the person, it's called ban tashrit. It's zera levatala. If you're giving him mochin that he can't internalize, because it's way too high above his level, you ruined him. So you got to be very matun who you're talking to. And Rabbi Natan himself was scared. Am I going to be able to give the right message? The Chiddush of Rabbeinu was with one group, he could do something that everybody in the group would hear the message that he had to hear. Rabbeinu had a way of making that he'll say one drash, and everybody's going to get what he needs. If he needs itchaskut, he's going to get itorut, he's going to get this, and he's going to get that, and they wouldn't even remember the rest of the parts of the drash. They would come out only with that in their mind, which is unbelievable. Rabbi Natan says, how do I do that? Mitunin badi. Slowly, think. And for us, practically, think about who you have in front of you. Think about if your person needs to be lifted up or think it needs to be pushed a little bit. And by the way, people change. The same person could be one time like this and one time like this. We're going to see later. That's the first pshat of the Mishnah. Second pshat is Amidu Tamidim Arben. Seemingly in the Mishnah there are three unconnected things. Be very slow to give up psak, get a lot of students, and make zirat d'Rabbanan. Here it's the same. It's all one continuation. Amidu Tamidim Arben ki k'zochen asagazo. Na'ir bigdodim uktanim. When you're able to be this person that's dealing with people on a high level, people on a low level, bevadai yamid tamidim arbe ki kulam tzrichim alav. You're going to have a lot of students because you're dealing with everybody. Ki yesh lo korach lilmod im kulam, because he can deal with everyone. You ever notice what is Ummah? It's the biggest rainbow that you can imagine. From people that the lowest spectrum of Am Yisrael that don't even keep Shabbat or Kashrut and even going. And at the highest level, there's Gedolei Yisrael that are baki in all the Chedrei Torah. And they're all there because everybody's getting what needs. This guy's getting a push to move faster, and this guy's being picked out of the mud that he shouldn't just decide to jump off a building. They're all getting it, so obviously you're going to have a lot of Talmidim. If you go to some places, there's only people that are holding on by the skin of their teeth. And another place, it's only Gdolim, Talmidei Chachamim, that we don't even understand what this Rab is saying. This Rab is so in the fine nuances of the deepest parts of the Torah, we can't even sit in the shir. I remember years ago I went to the shir of Mordechai Atiyah. Mordechai Atiyah, you can't even get into that shir. He's one of the biggest Mekubanim today. And they were learning Etz Chaim. And I didn't know anything so much of Etz Chaim. And especially not on that level that he's learning. I had a friend at Rosh Hashiva, Talmid Chacham, Peretz, Meir Peretz, Talmid Chacham. He's a Talmid of Mordechai Atiyah. He was a Talmid of Ben Sion. And he once brought me into the shul of Rav Atiyah. So I was there 2 hours listening to not a regular shir of Kabbalah, a shir on the diukim of the kavanot, the rashash and the ari. And afterwards, the Rav came to me, the Ramodi said, okay, you got it? I said, I don't understand the thing. Understand the thing. Who can be in that shir? Only Totachim Unu Kabbalah. I said to my parents, I said, okay, where do I start? So he told me, learn this. I said, how many years before I could sit in the shir? He said 10 years. You're not going to get in the shir, and it doesn't matter if you know Pshat and Halakha, it doesn't matter. Here, it's going to take you 10 years to get into that shir. So, who can go in that shir? Only guys who've been learning Torah for years and years and years on the highest level. You're not going to get a fresh guy over there. On the other hand, you're going to go to another place. The guy who's on a high level, he has nothing to do there. Somebody came to speak recently. A lot of people didn't go. Why? Because I don't have what to gain there. I'm not getting anything. It's great. Fadal, go do it. Fill up the room. But if it's not talking to me because, so that's normal. There are people that have this caliber and the people have this caliber. But then who has both? The tzaddik emes is able to deal with all of them at the same time. And by the way, the tzaddik emes dresses up in his talmidim to do that job. So if today you see in Breslov those two things happening, that some are doing this avoid and some are doing this, that's not two different people. That's the Rebbe dressing up in his talmidim to do this avodah, to bring Am Yisrael together close. What, you guys are both praying from the same book? You're both saying from the Likoutey Moharan? How could this be from the Likoutey and this be? By the way, the real Mekubanim, you know who's the son of Mordechai Atiyah? Rav Atiyah, the wrestler.
Oh, I thought Mordechai Atiyah was the wrestler.
No, that's his father. His father's Gedalot Dar Mekubanim. What's his name, Rav Atiyah?
I forgot his first name. I saw him in Shabbos.
Meir Atiyah? Eliyahu? No? I forgot his first name. But Rav Atiyah, the Breslover, his father is Gadol Ador in Kabbalah, Kipshuto. And he groomed him and built him up to be the next Mamshich. He was supposed to be the next one. He knows the Kitvei Ari and the Rashash, everything in his pocket. You even see his Beurim. He's explaining Bun, Alpi, the Zohar, Alpi, the Kitvei Ari, everything. So when he's going to say a show of Likoutey Moharan, he's explaining all of it Alpi, the Rashash. And I'll explain what that means. Even in our Torah later, all this is kavanot of the kavanot of the menorah. Once Rabbeinu said Torah Vav, and he asked them, who can show me the kavanot of Elu in our Torah? Nobody knew. What does it mean? And then he started to show them how all the kavanot of the Arizal in the Shar Kavanot were in the Torah. There was a biur on the kavanot Ari. Once Rabbeinu said, where we're holding in kavanos. Where are we holding in the Kavanot? The Kavanot Arizal. Where are we holding? Meaning, we're learning Kavanot Arizal and Seder, and that's the Likoutey Moharan. Well, I don't see that. I see a Chizuk, I see don't give, I see all these beautiful drashot and mishnayos and stories and on the pasuk. But somebody who has eyes to see, by the way, at the end of our Torah, Rabbeinu is going to say, here we spoke about all the Sfirot. Keter, Chokhmah, Binah, Dat, we spoke about everything. We're going them in order. We're going into everything. So you don't see that. We see speak to your friend Yirat Shamayim, we see you get a Makif, you see on our level. So how the same Sefer is doing two jobs at once. That's why you're going to have a lot of Talmidim. Everybody needs Rabbeinu, from the biggest to the small. That's the Pshat, Talmidim Marbeh. And then he says, Vasu sayag la Torah, B'chinat sayag la Chokhmah shtika. If you're in this avoida, if you're being matun badin, if you're dealing with people that are high and people that are low, and now you have a lot of Talmidim, Asu sayag la Torah. You got to be careful to know what not to say. What not to say to who? To put a limit, not to bring down a higher makif. B'chinat sayag la Chokhmah shtika. Sayag la Chokhmah shtika. Sayag la Torah, in the Mishnah it's put a fence around so the people shouldn't fall in a pit. But there's another Mishnah that says, you know what's a sayag la Chokhmah shtika? If you want wisdom, quiet. Sayag lachokma shtika. The way to get to Torah is through silence. What does it mean? כי צריך לעשות סייג לדבריו, לשתוק לפעמים. מבחינת שתוק, כך עליו במחשבה. What do we say by Hashem, by Rabbi Akiva? Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to give the Torah to Rabbi Akiva. Moshe Rabbeinu told Hashem, give the Torah to Rabbi Akiva. Told him, shtok. כך עליו במחשבה. Don't say the next thing. You're going to get a too big makif like we spoke. כי על ידי שזוכה להעמיד תלמידים הרבה, על ידי זה הוא זוכה להשיג המקיפים. דהיינו שמשיג ומבין מה שלא היה יכול להשיג מתחילה. He's able to learn through תלמידים, he's able to get the new makifim, things that you didn't know from the get-go. על כן הוא צריך לעשות סייג לדבריו, לשתוק לפעמים, כדי שלא ייכנס במקיפים שנמנע מהזמן. שלזמן מספיק לבאר הקושות והתירוצים שיש שם. So now, if you're doing this job of matun b'din, dealing with each person on his level, and you're giving over Yirat Shamayim, and you're going to have a lot of Talmidim. When you have all those Talmidim, you got to know sometimes, don't speak. You don't want to give over an information which is going to bring down, like we spoke last time a few times, a makif that is too high, because that could be problematic.
En fait, c'est quoi l'intérêt d'avoir beaucoup de Talmidim à ce moment-là?
C'est pas un intérêt, it's an outcome. It's an outcome. Everybody needs you. If you're matun b'din, and you know each person how to deal with him, like I told you, one person can only deal with the low people. The big people are not going to go to. One person can only deal with the high people. The low people are not going to go to him. But the tzaddik emes is able to deal with everybody.
Pourquoi faire des petits groupes alors? Ceux qui sont grands, ceux qui sont plus petits, comme ça on a un message pour les grands, un message pour les plus petits.
Toi, tu parlais de tzaddik.
Pourquoi parler parce que là c'est-à-dire qu'il faut se taire si on a beaucoup de talmidim. Alors comment on va transmettre si on se tait?
Pas se taire. Il faut savoir quoi dire à qui.
Quoi dire à quel moment.
Des fois, il faut se taire. Des fois, il faut. C'est vrai.
Si tu as un haut et un bas en avant de toi, peut-être qu'il faut se taire.
Oui, mais pourquoi
si tu as
prendre les
juste...
grands ensemble et les petits ensemble, tu adresses un message aux grands et un message aux petits.
Oui, mais des fois, la salle, elle est divisée. Tu sais, tu parles à des gens. Hein, et Rabbeinu, il dit, il y a une Torah là-bas. Il faut être un grand chacham quand tu parles, que chacun reçoit qu'est-ce qu'il doit recevoir. Pas plus, pas moins.
But here it's more that c'est pas que tu as une grande salle et tout le monde est là. The tzaddik knows how to deal with you, he knows how to deal with him, and he knows how to deal with everybody at the same time. The tzaddik emes is able to deal with all of Am Yisrael, and he's dealing with all of Am Yisrael at the same time. The tzaddik, if you're now, you have to know this. I want to show you in the letters of Rabbi it's written that you should know that if you are connected to Rabbeinu, the Rabbeinu is dealing with you today. What you're going to learn in Divrei Rabbeinu is custom tailored for you. Happens to be we're in the same chabura, so we're learning the same thing. Rebbe wants this from us, but there's a lot of there's thousands of people that are learning Divrei Rabbeinu, and one day you're going to learn this book, you're going to hear Shir over here, you're all of a sudden this Sipur Masyot, or Tzaddik says this, you learned it, I didn't learn it, Moharan, we skipped, we got to this one. All of this is from the Tzaddik, from Shamayim, mekaven what you're learning. You're getting the proper dat when you need to get it. When that's happening to you, the tzaddik also is capping what he's giving to you. He's knowing what not to give to you. He's knowing what not to bring down. He knows each one on his level. So if you're really dealing with it, if you're really masur to the tzaddik, you should feel in good hands that he's not going to overwhelm you with information. What you're getting year one is not what you're going to get year two. What you're getting year two is not what you're going to get year three. He's always going to give you your dose, what you need, in order to continue to keep growing. And you have to know that the tzaddik is high, he's still dealing with you, he's still giving you that, and he's still doing that. He's still doing matun badin, especially if you go to the real Talmidim, they have this chokhmah as well. How to give over, not too much to the person. So what's the Mishnah say? The tzaddik is matun badin, he's dealing with everybody. Because of that, he has a lot of Talmidim. Are they all at the same time? Not necessarily. And because of that, the tzaddik has to know, with each individual Talmid, he has to know how to be Sayag Torah, not to say sometimes. The whole Chokhmah is to know not what to say, it's not to say. Sometimes saying is a minus, it's not a plus. We'll do a few more lines. Do we finish? We'll stop here. Bilchim to you, Yom Tov.